Hi everyone, my name is Slava and today we will talk with interesting person. Hello.
Hello.
If you don't mind, please introduce yourself to the audience and tell how long have you been in China and what do you do there?
Nice to meet you, Slava. My name is Evgeny Bazhov. I am a Russian entrepreneur living in China for almost 15 years. Since 2004, I live in Shanghai, and before coming to Shanghai, I was doing international multimodal logistics, transportation services, warehousing. Then in Shanghai, I worked in the factory management, garments manufacturing, toys, and after 2009, I started my own business. We started visiting factories, factory audit, all kind of manufacturing services, and we did some our own personal brands. And since 2014, I was more moved to the investment activity, and I was investing into the different projects. One of them was manufacturing mineral water and green food and import to China and then distribution in China. That was my major project. And since 2017, I'm more into the banking sector, financial investments. I'm the representative of Financial and Banking Association of Eurasian Cooperation in China. And I am author of 3 books about doing business in China, and EMBA degree holder, and currently writing my PhD in financial and psychological management.
Sounds great. Can you tell us the name of your books? What is the topic of the books?
Yes, good question. Thank you for asking. The first book is what's the English name? Let me pronounce it right. Dark Side of China Market. What you could not learn from the survivor. What experts would not tell you about doing business in 1.3 billion customers market. This book about the failures, about mistakes, what average businessman doing in China. And smart people, after reading this book, could learn what to avoid to become successful in China market. Second book is it's more about online business in China. This focused on the online platforms like Tmall, Taobao, and all other variants. There are plenty of them. And the book called, now it's called Gulliver Adventures into the Lilliputians country. These all books are based on the true stories, on the professional stories of professional businessmen in China. And third book is about psychology of Chinese businessmen and Chinese people from different levels.
It's very interesting. I would like to read your books.
Welcome, welcome.
So, in your experience, what are the major differences in the way of doing businesses and way of thinking between Europe and China in your field?
Oh, good question. There are many, and China, if we compare China with European countries, or I would say overall Western world, it's like opposite country, opposite minds. We are in the different planets. There are plenty of differences in our way of thinking. Some of them are not on the surface. One of these, which is really impressing me, is Chinese face culture, keeping the face. It's something like European norms of the etiquette, but it's more wide. It's more about how not to hurt the feelings of the person, how not to hurt your feelings, and how to avoid sharp angles. One of the things, from one point of view, it's quite good thing, quite comfortable to live in Chinese society, but the tricky part, if you are a businessman, for example, in my case, when I come to the distributor or come to the Chinese customers and I show to them my product, and I'm asking their opinion or asking them if they would like it, if they would like to buy it, and they will, using this cultural thing, keep in my face, they would say, oh, interesting, we will think about this. Oh, yes, it's wonderful product. Yes, thank you very much. But after a while, I don't get any response from them, or I don't get any orders from them. As any European or Russian businessman, I would think, oh, I have a prospective customer. I have a customer who wants to buy something. Okay, that's a great situation. I have many customers in China. But in reality, this Chinese friend or Chinese customer or client, he did not mean anything. For him, it's just, oh, interesting is interesting. It does not mean he wants to buy anything.
Yeah, that's kind of weird for another world.
That's true. It's quite weird for Westerners, but for Chinese people, it's very common situation because they want to help you to be feel good, because for them your product and you, it's a same thing. It's one thing all in another. There is now diversification or differentiation, and in case of this, for Western manufacturers or businessmen, when they come to China, they think, oh, fantastic, we have such a big, huge market for our products. And I would say, as my opinion, how to overcome this problem, ask your friend, would you buy it? And if there is any answer, but yes, it means he won't buy it. He don't like it. So if the answer, yes, I would like to buy it, I like it, then do the next step. Try to say to him, okay, please buy it. This is a good idea. And then you will see the reality, if it's really the person likes your product, or it's only to be polite and this keeping face culture.
So I think this is the most common mistakes of foreign company, or not. What is the success for companies?
There are not many successful stories I know. I'm more knowledgeable about those stories which are not successful, because from the case of success we could not learn anything. As successful stories, behind the successful stories there are always a very long way of failures, of bad experience, and only on the experience we can get to the success. But from the point of what we can do as non-successful stories, there are also plenty of them.
To conclude, what is the number one most important suggestion for foreign businesses for their venture to China?
I would say that first you need to be aware that China is not those image of which we have before, like made in China, the cheap goods, cheap country, and this is common mistake. This is wrong expectations that okay, China will be very easy to do. There are 1.5 billion people, they eat everything, they need everything, it's fantastic market. This is wrong. There is true that there is 1.5 billion of customers, and a lot of people, they have money in China. But the false is that they need anything. Market in China is overheated. Everything you can find. There is like even just 4 rows of chocolate in any shops in Shanghai. And to sell them something, you need to prove to Chinese customers that they really find something interesting, that it's a good product. And for the businessman, I probably would recommend to take off the pink color glasses and see the reality as it is. And the reality is that if you go to China with your product, with good product, because if not, you won't be successful here in your home country, you need to expect a fierce competition. Because many of the businessmen from all over the world, they have heard this story. In China, there are a lot of people, and Chinese people like to spend money, and they are starving for good products. Let's go to China. So you will compete not only for Chinese products and Chinese businesses, you will compete to the whole world. And that's good to know.
What are the first steps you will recommend to a company wanting to enter China or do business with China?
Very good question, thank you. As a first step, I would recommend the business owner or the head of the department first go to China and make a field trip. Go around, see the shops, see the shopping malls, check your customers, check normal Chinese people, check even your competitors, and talk to them and sniff the air. Is it really there is a need in your product, or it's only your or it's your opinion about that somebody needs your product? If you see that yes, true, somebody interested in it, then try to sell it to them. Try to sell to them right on the street, to Chinese people, just normal Chinese customers, or who is your customers. And then you will see the real feedback from the market, not from which consulting firms are telling you. Of course, if you have enough budget, you can spend a bunch of money and trying to sell something, but ROI is usually could be very surprising to you. It all depends, are you ready or not? And I advise to the business owner to first check and make a check mark if you are ready or not. This is my advice to the business in China.
Okay, thank you for this interview, and I want to tell people like try your best and go to China, do business, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Yes, and just as a forward, I want to add that don't afraid to fall. Don't afraid to fall. Don't afraid to make mistakes. Only by making mistakes, there were happening real successful stories. Even Edison made 1,000 mistakes before he became successful with his electricity project. Good luck.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you.